So now they'll be able to hear us. And then,
Oh, well, hello, world.
yeah, hello world. So now, if you guys hear any issues or anything like that, any offs, or if it's too low, just let us know when we're talking, and that way, if you're too low, or
Okay.
obviously you're high right now. If it's too
Yes.
high, hit
Well,
me
I
up.
talk kind of loud anyways, so
They're used to
I
me.
got a big mouth.
If they're regulars for this show, they're used to me at this point. Let's see. Make sure to tag you on all this stuff. Give you
Social
all the new
media
social media.
queen
I want
over
to make sure
here.
that you get all these new likes because you deserve everything.
It would be fun. I like having new fans.
Yes,
More people to talk to about Batman.
if you guys are not following her, check her out. I dropped her a whole bunch of links to her pages. Where are you most active on?
I'm most active on Facebook than Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, Instagram. Because Instagram's great for the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the reason why I got Instagram. My son, for many years, was like, Mom, you need to get Instagram. I'm like, no.
Well, I actually had to go out and I made an art Instagram, which I'm posting on my art Instagram right now,
Okay.
and the social media one, because I get more commission sales and
Okay.
like art orders off of my direct only art. That's all it is.
Okay. Well,
And
then I should probably work on that. then.
And then like a social media for just me because I'm a public figure, blah blah blah.
Right.
So
Okay.
maybe
Great.
that'll help
Yet
with our
another
stuff.
page.
Well, you know what's really great about Instagram is look, I'm just gonna put this right on my art page right from Instagram. Yay, bumping. What's great about Instagram is they made it so you can like switch accounts now. You don't have to sign all the way out.
Okay.
So now you just do this where you click on the top and then you get all your.
Oh,
See
okay.
there?
All right. Well, then I guess I'll have to set one up just for my artwork because then people aren't having to search through like all of my other photographs.
Well, and that's what makes it great too, is because if you're doing just artwork and you're trying to sell stuff, it makes it awesome.
Right. I was hoping that my webpage was going to bring a little more, but I mean, I just got my webpage like not even a month ago. So,
My webpage I think works best for like my bookings and like people like my calendar.
okay.
But people don't really go to my webpage much for like interaction or buying stuff.
Well, people ask where I have stuff, and I'm like, well, I have a website that has like samples of all my artwork that I've done already, and because a lot of people want me to do renditions of like the Golden Age covers, or they have something in mind. So, I mean, they don't necessarily want something that I've already done, but it gives them an idea of the type of stuff that I do.
Yeah, well, that's kind of my problem. Everyone, because I always draw chibis, like that's my favorite thing to draw.
Okay.
So that's like my number one commission. I'm like, I do comic book art and other things.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's fine, it's fun, but I mean, I like to do stuff that's a little more with my flair to it.
Yeah.
Like the one that I've been working on.
So. I like this. Okay, we're going to go official. You guys can actually see us now. Are you guys ready? Here we go. I should have shoved that other webcam. Let's see if this is going to bog down. We'll see if it bugs. We'll see what's up.
Hopefully it cooperates.
We'll do this one. This will be the shoe. That'll be your special camera over there. You get your own special. Well, it looks like it's running smooth, so
okay.
Let me make sure our chat box is going to run smooth. Welcome to the stream, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Maybe if we could get this to scroll. I hate having such a small laptop right now. Okay, good. It's always. Because I have to make sure it says always because I made this new. So if it doesn't say always, whenever they type, it just disappears. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Welcome, guys, to tonight's stream. We have Athena here. She is the granddaughter of the co-creator of Batman. So, like, Joker's like, yes, here we go. See? We got all of our shares off. We've been talking a lot about art, so I think that this is going to be a big art stream, and obviously she'll be here to answer any questions.
Yes.
Try to get us in here together. There we go. All right. Any questions that you guys have, please feel free to ask her. I'm kind of winging this. I'm a big Marvel fan.
That's okay.
I fail at DC. I don't know much about DC. It's funny because I always get hit up by that stuff. They're always like, oh, what DC character?
How can you not like DC? Come on, what's wrong with you?
So it's not that I don't like. It always sounds so bad when I say it like that. So, like, let's see. Obviously, Batman. But honestly, the only, which is funny, is one of the reasons why I know Rick. One of the only things I read when I was a kid was Aquaman.
Oh, really?
Because I was obsessed with Thor and Aquaman as my own, like, oh, I like these two characters. Okay. And it was like the blonde-haired water ocean person.
Beautiful.
And I think that's where that came into play. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then as I grew up, I was very obsessed with X-Men. So
Okay.
X-Men's kind of like my kid genre, what I grew up on.
Okay.
Batman, I don't know, like my favorite villain is Ink,
Okay.
which I don't know if you know.
I don't know.
So I know she came out, she was originally created like in the earlier days, I don't remember how early.
Okay.
Around the same time Venom came out, because there was a big
Okay.
disclosure between her and Venom. And then they
Okay.
put her in Batman Beyond later on,
Oh,
which
it's a weird crossover.
I loved Batman Beyond, which is the
Oh,
weirdest
so
thing.
good. So good.
And I heard they're supposed to be making a Batman Beyond movie.
There's rumors. I don't know anything. I can't confirm. So, I mean, it would be kind of cool. I love that series. It was really like, it was super interesting. I remember when it first came out in the 90s, and I was like, what is this all about?
Oh my God, I feel old. I thought it was like later. I don't know.
No, it was in the 90s because it came out right after they did the animated series.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, well, what's this storyline? This is different. And it's like in the future, and Bruce Wayne's super old and can't do anything.
And he has Great Danes, which is like my favorite dogs in the whole entire world. So I like lost it when they like when Bruce Wayne had black Great Danes. I used to show Great Danes, and I had like a black show dog girl that was like my prized possession. I was like, oh, she's like Batman's dog. I don't have to like Scooby. I hated Scooby Doo.
Oh no!
So like I could like be like Batman dog versus Scooby Doo. Oh, we have Aquaman joining us now.
Yes. Sure, we can have more light.
Bright in our day.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna put. Oh, look right there. Oh, so bright.
I know.
Welcome to part. Look, Aquaman can have his own. Like we don't even need him on our stream. We'll just put him right there. He gets his own camera. See? There.
Yeah.
We'll give you guys. Wait. We can
There
put
we go.
it. There you go. Now you guys get your own stream.
Okay, awesome.
So we are talking about. Look, we can probably like get all of us in here. Look, all the teamwork. Batman Beyond. So yeah, Batman Beyond was my favorite. Like Batman.
Well, there's a special edition coming out in October, Blu-ray with like a bunch of like goodies with it. So I might have to buy it.
Batman Beyond was amazing.
Like $100 deal.
Yeah. Well, it's cheaper on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a new host. Thank you, Schnitzel from Chowder. He's one of my favorite people. He actually ordered our commission last night.
Oh, nice.
He's hosting us now. So she's new to the lingo. So we're gonna tell her about the lingo
that means.
as we're going. So basically, because we're streaming on Twitch, so now we're also streaming on his Twitch.
Oh, cool.
So the more people who host us, the more people will see us.
All right, cool.
I'm
learning.
We're teaching all the art stuff. Yeah, I think with Batman Beyond, I think it'd be great for them to bring to the big screen, because I think that's where DC flops versus Marvel winning, is because Marvel wants to bring in like new stories that people never heard, and DC keeps wanting to tell the same story over and over. Yeah. So I think if they brought in Beyond, I think that'd be a great hit.
Yeah, I think it would be very popular. I think, touching on what you said about news stories, I think the Joker movie that's coming out is kind of like,
it's a new take.
It's right. It's
I
as I put it to my friend earlier, it's fiction on a fictional character, right? Because they're making up a story about.
So I didn't even know that there was a Joker movie coming out. So,
my
son.
October.
That's right, my son Johnny, my oldest, obsessed with Joker.
Yeah.
They should bring him over one time to talk. Oh, we got baby bits. Thank you. Kaiju King. I have to read it. It's small over here. Kaiju, thank you. So baby bits are them donating. I think these are like pennies.
Oh, nice.
I don't know the lingo for that myself yet on Twitch. I'm learning. But he showed me, like, it was months ago, they had showed me a preview for the Joker movie.
Yes, it's with Joaquin Phoenix. He plays the Joker. And so it's supposed to be their take on the origin story of the Joker, although it's kind of mutated into its own story, because the Joker never had an origin story.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
That's true. Because like they kind of played with that in the one Christian Bale ones where it was like him back and forth and kind of just made up a different story.
Right.
Like
so there's never been a real authentic origin story of the Joker. So this is like their fictionalized origin story on the Joker.
Oh, okay. So that'll be cool.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen with it. Yeah.
Because the only one I've really not paid attention to, but seen a lot in my newsfeed is the Birds of Prey, or the one with Margaret.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I'm like, she looks like Big Bird. in her outfit. I'm like, okay, well, we're going directly with Birds of Prey with her little
Yes.
fluffy arm jacket.
I haven't seen that.
It's like, how can you make like her outfit worse, like as
I
Harley,
don't know.
than the one from before?
I don't know.
I'm like, it was like super. I wish I had the picture.
It
I didn't
looked
even
like
think about it.
streamers, just like two pom poms exploded on.
Yeah, it looks like she has a jacket made of cheerleader pom poms.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I've seen a couple of
I don't
cosplays
know.
already.
Always
from it,
enjoyed the mystery of Joker origin. Yeah, so I guess that's what this movie is going to be about. It's going to kind of explain an origin story to a
Yeah.
Joker.
Well, because Gotham hit it, and first Michael Keaton hit it, as far
Sort of, but then again, it's not. Nowhere in the comics does the Joker really have an origin story.
It's
Where
kinda
he
like-
just kind of appeared.
It's kind of like Deadpool. Like he's told like 700 different random stories, and there's not really an actual story behind it. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Because I know Deadpool did that. I don't know if there's an actual Deadpool origin story still to this day, but like he makes up different like
Okay.
pathways all the time.
Right.
Like I think even in the movie they did that where it was like, oh, this is my background, but then he told like her like 3 different stories, like how like he was
Right.
born or his background. So I kind of felt that way with Joker, I guess. Let's see. The Killing Joke is the only origin story. That's what Joker Plays says. Is that an origin
Okay.
story?
I'd have to go over it again. I guess. Again, I'd have to read it again.
Was The Killing Joke the one that they animated where it was
Yes.
like really gruesome?
Yes.
See, I liked that a little bit, but a little bit was like a little crazy for me. I was like, it's okay because
Yeah,
it's
there's-
Joker at the same
yeah.
time.
I don't know. I should
Um,
know more, but I don't. Sorry.
So, as far as Batman, obviously Batman's probably your favorite character. Besides Batman, who is your favorite from the DC Universe franchise? And not Aquaman either. Keep him out of this. He's not allowed to be chosen either. From the Batman franchise, who's your favorite villain and favorite hero? Or DC franchise, I should say.
Well, I mean, she's part of Batman, but she's not a villain or a hero. Catwoman.
Oh, Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
Catwoman's one of those ones. I always get asked to do the cosplay for the blonde who played her in what movie?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Yes, I want to do that cosplay.
Yes, let's do this. We will do this. I will, and then I'll just be Harley, and then I'll just walk
Okay.
around with you. We could do this.
All right.
Actually, my best friends, Amy and Havoc, I don't know if you know, they're actually getting married as like Catwoman Batman theme. And she showed me the dress, and it's like to T from like
Oh,
the
really?
one that they got
the
married
comic
in.
one,
It's beautiful. And-
Tom King actually wrote that.
right?
We were originally going to be like all like there was going to be Lois Lane as like the bridesmaids and Harley, and I got pushed into Harley like I always do. And now, well, they changed it because I think people were arguing over. I don't know what the deal was, but now we're all her kittens, so now we're all going to be like kittens
Oh,
to
that's cute.
Catwoman. So,
Very cute.
so you get like one answer. I like this one as both.
Yes.
You don't get to pick your
That's fine.
Aquaman. Who's your favorite hero and villain from DC?
Hero and villain outside of Aquaman.
Yes.
Okay.
That's I have to say that, or he'll just pick Aquaman.
Well, then I'd say Mira.
But that's part of Aquaman.
No,
You can't have Femme Aquaman. That's literally Lady Aquaman. You can't go Lady Aquaman.
Hey, you said it can't be Aquaman.
Outside of the Aquaman
Outside of
world.
Atlantean people. Okay.
Yes.
No Atlantean people, Mr. Aquaman.
Well, I mean, I do like Green Lantern.
Okay.
That's a big story that I've never read anything about, like at all, the Lantern stories.
Well, my grandfather was the creator of the original Green Lantern.
Oh, he did Lantern too.
The original.
The
one with
original
the
with
pop
Alan
collar.
Scott.
The one-
And the red shirt.
See, there's way more behind just Batman.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh, way more.
I need to know what else is behind this because I'm over here like, oh, Batman. But like when you think DC, like the only thing that comes to your mind is Batman, honestly. Like me, like even now that I'm submerged in the
Well, it's
culture.
really the Trinity. It's Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Those are the three that really.
So Batman, because I don't care about the other two.
Well, Batman comes out on top for a couple of different reasons. Yes, he's the most popular one, but Superman has gone through a lot of legal issues with the creator, so that's why for a long time we didn't see any Superman movies.
Oh, we got bits.
There's only a few titles for Superman where Batman has like 20 different titles.
Current,
So it's a lot of that has to do with the legal stuff behind them.
Oh,
With
okay.
what's going on.
So like Superman's more of a controlled.
Yes, because they fought with the families for so long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then.
I mean, they actually had to change Superman's story a little bit to be able to use Superman.
Oh. See, the more you know. We're learning so much on this stream. And you guys, please, if you have questions in chat, please feel free to ask Aquaman. He's like the most knowledgeable Aquaman man in the entire world.
True.
And Athena here, she knows so much, and I don't even know where to go to start asking. So I know I have a bunch of DC people who are looking forward to this. Please ask her questions, because I'm learning so much. So he helped co-create Batman.
Yes.
And he co-created the
Green Lantern.
Who else? Anyone else?
Wildcat.
I don't know who Wildcat is.
He was a boxer who started to fight crime, and he dressed up as a black cat, kind of like the Panther.
Okay.
Yeah, except he had more fur on the face mask.
Okay. Oh, you said that. I was thinking like Wolverine, Fuzzy Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he wrote for many different stories. He wrote the first Kryptonite story. He didn't invent Kryptonite because that was actually invented on the radio show.
Oh.
But he wrote the first Kryptonite comic for Superman. He wrote for Timely, which is now Marvel. He wrote for TV, radio, movies, the Army.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
it's a way deeper submersion.
And he totally created the entire Batman world. It wasn't just Batman. It was the Batmobile, Gotham City, Commissioner Gordon, the Bat Signal, Arkham Asylum, the Penguin, Joker, Riddler, Catwoman. Those were all his constructs.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He was the writer, so I mean, he had to. It starts with the writer, and he had to create some kind of world for Batman to be in.
He fleshed it all out.
He,
yeah, that's
he really.
I mean, like when
created the whole mythos.
Because we've never really sat down and talked about like the whole background. This is one of those like open, Batman. And I mean, like,
there's a lot.
There's so much that's so deeper. Let's see, are there ever going to be a redo on Green Lantern not using Ryan Reynolds, do you think?
I have no idea. I don't know. He was missing from the Justice League because the Justice League has Green Lantern in it, so maybe they'll bring him into that story.
This is that DC pet peeve that I have, because I was like, okay, we already know about Superman. This goes back from I'm like so excited about Batman Beyond because it's my favorite, my favorite Batman storyline ever is Batman Beyond. Like the villains, like they brought Ink in there. She's kind of, do you know who Ink is? The one that's like the liquid. She's almost like Venom.
Yep.
So she's like, I really would love to build a cosplay, but I want to make it so the head comes off and then I have the 50s like super hair stuck underneath. Favorite one of all time. So you have like card people, you have just awesome villains in there that are all new constructs.
Right.
So like the biggest fault I think DC did is they gave us Cyborg. We don't know about Cyborg. Where's his story? Like they should have like gave us that story instead of giving us a story we replay on. And we brought up Lantern. Give us Green Lantern. Like what's the Black Lantern man's name? Because they wanted to be so diverse.
Right.
That is the best Green Lantern, in my opinion.
Okay. I don't really follow it, so I can.
Like that would have been great. Like if they would have even put him in there.
Well, I don't know why they decided not to bring the Green Lantern into it. They hinted to the Green Lantern League being there, and somehow he wasn't.
Maybe if it took off, it was going to go
I don't know.
And then you got Martian Manhunter. You know, they're already freaking out about Superman being an alien on Earth. I can only imagine how they would try to bring him into the DCMU.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to.
But those are, if you're really going to do the Justice League, you need to do the Justice League. You got to do it right.
I have a whole concept in my head for the most amazing movie ever that's DC planned. And I think I've talked about this on stream before. So two of my favorite characters of all time from DC is Beast Boy and Cyborg and their dynamic. So bad cop, good cop movie. Them just being like, before they meet Robin, before like they're two best friends. And they're kind of like solving crime and solving problems, but they're kind of making more of a mess. and Robin comes in and helps them like
Pull it all
through it,
together.
but like kind of establishing the Teen Titans,
Okay.
which would have been a great way versus like another way they could have brought that in and had like
Right.
a new storyline.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't quite understand what they're doing with their films. It's unfortunate because I mean Warner Brothers puts out amazing films.
They do.
So
We've had
why
some
are
good
they
ones.
fumbling so badly with these?
I feel like they're just, and I think that's their biggest issue is they're trying to like copy Marvel, and DC needs to do its own thing and stop.
Yeah, but they're trying to copy Marvel but be dark at the same time. It doesn't work that
Well,
way.
Exactly.
Well, they got Snyder involved, and Snyder was not the right person for the job.
Hi, Siren. What's up? So Siren's one of the people who are super excited to see you today. She's like, I'm gonna be here.
Well, hi.
So Snyder. Well, and then the Aquaman movie, I finally did see it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even go see it in the movie. Don't even me right now. Do you
Yeah.
hear that right now? So the best part of that movie. So I was really looking forward to that movie, not even for Jason Momoa, and we know how I feel about Jason Momoa.
Right.
It wasn't even about that. It was so that the director in that movie,
Juan.
he does a lot of horror films.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be dark. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be the
Yeah.
essence of.
No, he had to continue on with the original concept of what the Snyder franchise started. So he got fed something that
Well,
was
you could tell.
already put together.
You could tell in the movie, like it was like bright and colorful. But then when they did like the dark sea creatures coming over, that was like the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
Like it was
yeah.
like,
Well,
oh, this is
and that's why
awesome.
they're actually doing a spin-off just for the Trench. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they're doing its own movie, The Trench.
Well, that would be good.
That would be cool. Aquaman and Shazam movies were good. Did you not like the Shazam?
I wasn't impressed.
I never followed Shazam at all before my life.
I remember Shazam from the cartoons back in like the 70s.
Like I always thought like Shazam. I thought Shazam was gonna be like and it was. It was very like kid oriented. Like it was very childish. So
yeah,
I think.
But I just wasn't impressed. Like everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is the best one." And I'm like, "All right, the bar's set pretty high now by everybody saying this."
That's
Yeah.
It's not a high bar at least.
Yeah, the bad guy in that one was just really like blah.
I don't know. In Aquaman, I fell asleep during it.
Well, like, and that's what. I
She
mean,
did.
me personally, I had to go to the bathroom a few times because Momoa, and it's a very wet movie. But
That's
besides
funny.
Momoa, like honestly, like the girl's hair, I wanted to rip it off her head the whole movie. Like I could not stand
yeah.
Mira's hair.
But
It
the-
It was really fake.
The love scene between her and him was as fake as that hair color. It was so unbelievable. I mean, it was
Well, I
just.
mean, she obviously. I'm just getting off topic now. She obviously fakes all her love life and her.
Yeah.
Because that actress is just a terrible person.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, let's hope to see her not in the sequel.
Well, no, she's
Yeah.
already been canned. She got cut off of the next Aquaman. They recasted her. I read that
Alright.
somewhere a
Oh.
couple months ago. So
Yeah, I haven't seen.
we don't have
who
to worry
they're-
about that.
Yeah, I just saw pre-production starting for 2020 for the 2021 or 2022 release of Aquaman 2, and Juan is coming back to direct. He said he was not going to do it for a while, but apparently he's starting pre-production in 2020.
Well, I mean, he makes really good movies.
He does,
I
but
just
again,
don't know if like comic movies is his niche
Well,
because
and
he's
that-
done horror for so long.
well, that was the problem. Momoa doesn't understand how to act. He knows how to be a barbarian.
I'm leaving the stream.
He knows how to be a barbarian, and he knows how to be the butt of a joke. But as
I
far
mean,
as
I'm right here. We're talking about me. She's just describing me now.
yeah.
But like
You
I
can
think
pull it off,
I
though.
think if Juan was to actually have full control of the movie, I think it would be. I think
yeah.
he'd do good at like a Batman
But see, that's
setting
the
or a darker
problem.
character.
If he would have been able to cast it himself, I know he wouldn't have used Momoa. So he's having to deal with what Snyder handed him.
Well, and you can tell by like the pictures and the like.
Yeah.
It was so, and I understand like Atlantis is supposed to be bright and fancy and shiny, but it was over the top. Like it was too much. It made it look fake and made it look like Ariel. It made it look like something out of Disney.
I don't know.
Well, they were trying so hard to do Wakanda. You know, it was an underwater
Oh, yeah.
Wakanda. That's all it was.
Because that's that competition between Marvel and the DC movies all the time. They're like trying to keep up. They need to just do their own thing.
They really do. They need to regroup and
So,
Reboot.
Athena, if you could have any movie made for your character, who would you make?
For Catwoman or for Batman?
For any character and like your storyline based behind it. Like,
Oh.
because there's so many different Catwomans. Would you
Um,
go back to like the purple outfit Catwoman? Would you do like,
I think I would have her probably start there because that's where she came from.
what was the?
Um,
Yeah.
which Catwoman was Bill's creation. I mean, he had her come in so that he had a love interest and had a female.
Which is kind of cool. They officially got married, and that's what we ended up.
No, they didn't get married.
I thought they got married in one of the comics.
They were going to, but she left him at the altar. Spoiler.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't read it. Don't hate me, Amy and Havoc.
Yeah, I mean they
and do not reenact.
So,
yeah, no, they were supposed to get married, and she left him at the altar. So,
if you want to answer the questions,
oh, where?
if you want,
Okay, so what is? I can't read the
here,
whole
we'll bring
question.
him up. Here, we'll bring it close to us.
There are debates between Finger and DC about character depictions or other offers.
That one seemed like a more real like question, so I don't.
Well, I don't think that there were debates. First of all, Bill didn't work for National, which was DC.
He was a ghostwriter.
He worked actually for Bob Kane in his own studio, but then got hired on later on by National DC. So the only real debate or discussion was Batman no longer using guns to reduce the violence depicted towards children. And that was pretty much it. I think there wasn't really any other discussion about the characters. I mean, I think they kind of just were like, here's another story, and you're gonna take it or not, basically. But I mean, he was so popular from the moment that he came out that I don't think they really questioned much.
God knows DC had taken Batman in every possible direction imaginable, from caveman, time traveling, pirate, cowboy, Viking,
Yeah.
Batman. I mean,
Well, I think that's probably
everything,
why they
so.
like kind of grasp onto Superman, like you had said earlier, so much because they didn't
Right.
want him to be all those crazy things.
Right. So I don't think there was much of a discussion about that stuff. So
He did use guns? Gonna rub that in Affleck's haters' faces.
well, he did, and then I mean, even if you look at the Christopher Nolan series, I mean, he had guns.
yeah, I mean, the
He might not have
Batmobile-
shot at people, but he shot at vehicles. He shot at glass doors and
Yeah.
other things. I mean, he's
Yeah.
always had guns.
Yeah, the Bat bike had the big guns on it.
I know, like
Yeah.
even in the movies, they've got like him shooting stuff off.
Right.
Like,
So I mean,
He's not shooting
it's-
people and blowing them
he
apart.
didn't have a pistol, a handgun, or a machete, or not a machete, but a rifle or anything like that. He wasn't using those kinds of guns, but he's had guns. I mean, even his Bat airplane had guns on it, and everything had some kind of weapon on it. So this whole debate about the no guns thing.
Well, yeah, because even in the very first one with Michael Keaton, he's in that Batwing
Right. And
plane, and he's shooting at Jack Nicholson. As
Yes.
he's strafing
Yes.
him.
well, and he's
So-
got the hook thing. That's
yeah, but that's not a gun. That's
I
not
would shoot
shooting
somebody
bullets.
with it. Blah, let's knock somebody.
Right, but
They're talking about
they're
bullets.
talking specifically about handguns.
I think it's kind of like him showing off that he could do that. That kind of gives him like a superhuman ability to be able to disarm somebody like that.
Right.
And I mean that makes sense.
I mean, Punisher, I know is Marvel, but if that's basically what Batman would be if he was carrying guns, he'd look more like Punisher. He'd be, gun on his back, But then they
Right.
just didn't want that. They
Yeah.
wanted to.
He wanted him
the
to
gadget.
be smarter.
Smarter and use
Which
gadgets.
makes sense because that kind of builds up that almost like a superhuman trait. Like he doesn't need this.
It's like
Right.
it makes him techno metahuman. So he's using technology to be a metahuman, whereas some people might say, a gun levels the playing field. He doesn't need a gun. He uses technology.
Yeah, because he's the Bat Ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bat Ninja.
He uses his body as his weapon.
That's right. So, anyway, if you guys follow me on Twitter, and I think we posted on Instagram and on Facebook. I
Okay.
did tag Athena, and you
Yay.
guys should all go follow her. And you guys can, I believe, you answer your fans and all
I
that good
do.
Yes,
stuff.
she does.
Oh yes, I don't ignore
We
my
both
fans
do.
And she was
or
just,
Bill's fans or Batman fans, or if you just want to say hi or if you want to tell me your story, then please.
and she was telling me she'd love new followers. So everybody who's
Yeah.
here, who's come in and
Yay.
off and on, please go follow Athena. She has some awesome artwork we're going to show off here soon.
Okay.
Because she does art just like me, and I know a
Nice.
couple of you were on my stream last night, and we were doing an art stream, and we were talking about basically original versus like digital, I guess, like hand done media versus like a digital art. And
Yeah.
me and her before we got on stream were actually having lots of discussions.
Yes.
Which is why I'm like, oh, let me turn this on, because we were talking about like us as photographers and having to print stuff in dark rooms versus
Which
like
I
shoot and
miss
click.
so much. I miss the dark room. I had so much fun.
And it's so different because now you go to like a con or a photo shoot and they'll take like a million pictures and they'll take one of those will be good. I call them National Geographic photographers. I think I did that to you first. I'm like, oh, here, point and click, National Geographic.
Yeah.
And then you take one of those and you edit it. Me and her didn't get that joy when we were doing photos.
No,
So we had to get
you only had 36 shots if you were lucky, or
Yeah.
24.
and it's a pain in the butt and expensive to do those
Yes.
each one, and you don't want to keep making expensive pictures in a dark room.
No.
And then
Well,
they'll
that's
all be
one thing
bad.
about her and I as well. We're both photographers. So, I mean, I used to run a darkroom, and so I had to do all the chemicals.
You guys are getting all the old school stuff today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have any of you seen the Batman Death Battle videos? I don't know what those are. Animated. I'm very grateful for the Batman animated series. What kickstarted my love for Batman?
I love the animated series.
Sorry, I haven't said anything. Kaiju, you can say whatever you need to say. We love you, Kaiju. He joins into my streams all the time. He's awesome. The Batman animated series was the one where Harley came.
Right.
The
She
first
was
one.
invented specifically for the cartoon.
Yeah.
So.
So there was that, and then I really like Batman Brave and Bold, which is like so stupid. But I was like a big
really
it's
fan.
campy. I mean, it's fun campy.
I couldn't get into
I
it.
like campy, stupid stuff.
Yeah.
So I do like.
Well, I love the episode of the Currys when they did it like Dick Van Dyke show.
Okay, yeah. Like it's so stupid, the campy stuff. Because I was just at Walmart before I came here, and they just released a new like Capcom Marvel, and I'm like, oh, the X-Men are in this one. My kid's like, those are the stupid like little GIF people. They're not serious. I'm like, it doesn't matter. And like you said, campy. I'm like, this is basically what my kid is telling me. My 13-year-old's like, that's campy, mom. And I'm like, let me play the ridiculous stuff. Just finished my stream. Just popped in to say hi. Just started off rerun of the 60s Batman.
Yeah, which Bill actually wrote one of the episodes for that. It was the 2-part Clock King episode for the 60s series. Yep.
The oldest like Batman show that I remember is Adam West.
Right.
Okay.
And that's the 60s.
So I actually used to know Adam West personally because he lived in Herkimer, New York, which is where I'm from.
Oh, okay.
Like that area. So I actually used to do the Herkimer before I did cosplay, everything like that. And it was funny that I came down here and seen him because I think at one of the SuperCons he was like, "Do I know you?" And I'm like, "Diamond Mines." He's like, "No way." And it was a funny little interaction. So
he was an amazing person.
He really was always so cool. Actually, him and the Fonz all live in this like little bumpnik area in New
Henry
York.
Winkler,
Yeah, he owns Henry Winkler. Well, I can't even say Henry Winkler. He actually owns an animal rehabilitation like place, and I used to adopt cats from there. And I used to do like assistant work there like every summer when I was in high school.
Oh, that's
and I had no idea he was there until like one day I think I was like messing around with the horses, and he was like, he said something to me, and I was like, wait, that sounds familiar. And then someone told me later that he was in, and I was like, oh my god, he owns Paris Hill cat clinics, Paris Hill Animal Sanctuary. So it was basically a house for cats.
Oh,
so it's like
cool.
It's a giant farmhouse where it's like each room is just different rooms shut off for cats. And then they started bringing other animals, but it was originally just for cats, which is funny.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, Adam West was always funny because he would just go to these diamond mines. Like I have pictures of him with my kids when they're like this big with Adam West at the diamond mines.
Oh wow.
And I never like really, I thought it was like just a dude who was just acting that way, but because he lives there, he goes there all the time. So it was totally normal for him. And I didn't realize that until like 4 years ago when I came to Florida and started cosplaying. So random knowledge of Adam West. 60 Batman, or it was Robin.
Right. So the death battles, the one that comes to mind that is the Batman versus Darth Vader.
Oh, Bat in the Sun Productions.
Yeah.
Out of California.
But I don't think I've seen this other one that he's talking about. Batman versus Wolverine. I don't think I've seen that one.
Is that like a YouTube thing? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fan films.
Oh, okay.
But they're high production. In fact, they use actual Hollywood
it's
production
the same people. Yeah.
Yeah, Bat in the Sun. We actually met the production team.
I just met Kevin recently, who plays Batman. He is an amazing Batman. He really is.
He's an amazing Batman.
Yeah,
well,
Kevin
he is.
Porter.
He was hired specifically by DC Warner to go around the world being their Batman.
That's really cool. Then.
Yeah, it's promotional things. So.
And they're working on a feature film now, and it's almost like the Flashpoint group or Flashpoint Paradox, where Kevin Porter is now playing not Bruce but Thomas, who, if you've seen the Flashpoint Paradox, you realize it's what happens if Batman was never created. The father becomes Batman, so Thomas is Batman, but he's a completely different kind of Batman. What? He owns casinos. He's like dark and gritty. And
well, I know one of the comics that I read it a long time ago was where Joker was Batman's mom. Do you remember that one? And it was like, or Bruce's mother was Joker, and it was like that kind of dynamic. And I read a little bit of it.
I think that's
is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think that's the Paradox one.
Okay.
Yeah, where Flash had messed up something in time. It was like a butterfly effect. And
that's Flashpoint. Joker says thanks.
Yep. And Joker's my like Batman pro in my stream. He actually does an amazing like voice over Joker, and he actually plays Batman on Xbox and stuff on Twitch.
Cool.
Joker.
Yeah, if you haven't gotten a chance to watch the Flashpoint Paradox,
it's good.
It's good. It's not as good as the comic.
I didn't know they even did like an animated version.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I have it. It's really, really cool because all the different characters are completely off their rocker in the thing. Aquaman is a complete like warlord, and Wonder Woman is this, and the two of them are warlords going head to head to the point where.
Okay, yeah, that sounds familiar. And then Joker just said that Bruce died. Is the one I'm like, okay, yep, that's what I remember reading because it was. I did that before I cosplay. It was like that was like the last comic I read in New York before I moved here.
Right.
That and the Thor when he becomes like Lady Thor. Those are my last two comic books before I moved to Florida. And then I got into cosplay and I don't read nearly as many comic books. It's funny, I used to read more comic books when I had nothing to do than I do now. Because now I don't read that many comic books at all.
And I just got into reading comics.
I think the last like comic set I bought was probably like 2 years ago because Havoc got me into Captain Marvel. I hated the Captain Marvel movies. I was very disappointed. After I read my friend shoved Captain Marvel down my throat because he's like, you are my Carol Danvers because I'm a loud, obnoxious go-getter. Da, da, da. He like made me like a helmet and everything. I was like, this is you. So I read it and I got really into it. And the Carol Danvers from the comics, she's like drinks a lot. She pushes Tony's buttons. She's like a jerk, and like she's really smart, but she has like an attitude. And then they like kind of made her very blah and very blank in the movies, and they don't really give her.
She's like a goody two-shoe.
They gave her like this feminism build-up, but but in the comic book she's nothing like that. In the comic book she's like very arrogant, very like, and her and Tony fight all the time. That's like the whole Civil War comic, and they didn't give me any of that. And the movies were sad. Like Aaron's Run. Buy Sushi by Miss Finger was a good. Oh, Miss Finger was a good guest.
Thanks.
Yay, yes.
We'll miss you, Mario.
This is my first big guest actually on the stream. I was like, this is the first time I have someone like of importance that's not me just bullshitting with friends like on Wifu Wednesday. Usually I just bring in other women and we just like talk bullshit. And I'm like, We could just talk bullshit about Batman. I'm sure people would like to talk bullshit about Batman.
Sure. Why not?
If you could cast, I'm just thinking Batman's questions. If you could cast actress to play Catwoman in your movie, who would it be? Oh, that's a.
Oh.
I don't know. Do you have an actress that you would
No,
possibly
I
do?
haven't really.
Don't
put
say
in-
Halle Berry. Don't say Halle Berry.
No.
Well, that was kind of the only origin story Catwoman had was the Halle
I
Berry
haven't
one,
even
right?
seen that movie because I was told not to watch it.
Oh,
Stay away.
yeah, please
I watched
don't.
it when I was like in high school, and I remember thinking she was like a badass because she was in leather, and I was like obsessed with Storm in high school. Like,
Okay.
and I kind of put her with Storm and
Yeah.
because
No.
Halle Berry. I think Halle
Yeah.
Berry played Storm too, right?
Yeah, she did.
So it was like, whoo, Kitty Storm. I don't know. So it was
Um,
okay for me then, but looking
Yeah.
back at it now as
Yeah,
like a
Halle
comic
Berry-
book lover, I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, this is
Yeah.
trash.
Halle Berry's
I don't
Storm
know.
has one of the worst lines ever uttered in an X-Men movie.
Joker says he would choose the girl from the Fast and the Furious movies.
I don't
I don't
know.
know who she is.
I don't know.
She'd be a great Catwoman.
Okay.
I don't know who she is though.
I don't know either. I don't watch the Fast and
I would
Furious
like.
movies.
Who's the girl who did Black Widow? She would probably be a good Catwoman. And the Avengers.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson?
I think she would make a nice Catwoman.
Yeah, she would be pretty good.
But it'd be hard to see her not as Black Widow because
She's
fighting-
kind of established
yeah,
herself
that
as
she's-
that
Yeah.
character.
anybody in the MCU,
They're like, no.
yeah, anybody in the MCU,
But she's MCU, so she could go DC, and then
Well,
be
they
like,
they do.
yeah.
She has man hands. That's
Well-
hilarious.
what? Man hands.
Well, as an idea, we're binge watching Vikings.
Oh yeah, the girl. Yeah.
I wonder. Okay,
Yes.
Amy has told me to watch this. There's one girl in there. She's like, Maria, this is you, and I'm like, she's got like,
What's her name?
she's a leader or something like that. And my friend
I
wants
can
me to
never
like
pronounce it right. It starts
cosplay
with
her.
an L.
Yeah.
Banana finger. Hands.
She
She's
is-
what I call Scarlett
she-
Johansson.
She's Ragnar's first wife,
Yes.
and she's a shield maiden, and she's just a total
I think
badass.
this is the person that
Yeah.
Amy keeps
Yeah.
telling me that I
She's
need to be.
beautiful too.
Oh my God,
she's
she's
a badass on the show. So
And I got you guys like featured on this one. Little side
Yeah.
cameras. Yeah, I watched a little bit of that. There was another one that was on Netflix, was like Vikings, but it was like spoofs, where it was like them like messing
Oh
around.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. That was hilarious.
That one was funny. And the funny thing is I know somebody who looks just like the Viking chick.
Oh, from that one?
Yeah, from South Florida. And I mean, I was like, I had to actually write her and say, "Were you in the show?" No, no. Like she looks just like her. She's really tall, and she plays a Wonder Woman character, and she just.
See, I don't see me
Yeah,
personally.
okay.
I see Catwoman more of like a very like feminine person. I guess.
right.
I don't see them
But-
as a big
But
badass
that's the
Viking.
thing. But
No,
she,
but she's not a
oh.
big ass. She's beautiful.
okay.
Like
she carries herself with great poise, and she becomes a queen, and so she carries herself with that. But then when it's time to throw down, yeah, it's the
no,
game on.
She's beautiful. She's got a body. She's got a face. She's got blonde hair on
the
the
whole
show.
package.
She
Yeah,
is.
She is.
Blonde hair is the best hair.
I know.
Look at us. Three blondes. We
yeah.
could be the girls from Gaston right now. That's what we could be right now. We're just throwing him in. You can't be Gaston. You got to be the other blonde. You can be the one in the yellow.
All right. Yeah, my color.
He's used to me like busting his chops. This is how we made friends. I just was Deadpool and just busted his chops from day
Okay.
one.
We
I
became
I
besties.
keep reading is Joker's man hands.
Yeah.
Like it's just there, man hands.
Yeah. No. I'm trying to think if there was somebody else that I would put. I don't know. It's a tough role to fill. I mean,
Michelle Pfeiffer set
Especially
the
when it's
bar.
like your favorite character.
She
Yeah.
set the bar really high.
she did. She was.
I feel like
really-
we have to make her this costume now.
Oh no, it's
We
happening.
need to do this.
It is going to happen.
So
Yes.
I know that we can order it a base on it, and then we can alter because the helmet's not good,
right.
Right.
but it's not expensive. So
Okay.
I might have to
well,
drop the code in for the Mick Costumes because it's Mick Costumes one, and it fits well. We get it a little big, and we'll like fit it to you.
Okay.
It'll
All
be
right.
badass.
Well,
I
have
think
to
was
do
it Reeves FX or one of the mask makers that does a lot of Batman masks did a Catwoman
Right.
cowl that was
Cool.
really, really well made.
I'll have to hit some people up then.
So, as an artist that does comic book stuff,
Yes.
and you're an artist, can we see her sketchbook over here? 'Cause she
Yeah.
pulled this out earlier. Me, I love to do redesigns of characters because I always wanted to do like video game character designs.
Okay.
So when I got into cosplay, I did a lot of gender bends because I wanted to turn those characters in my own
Okay.
aspects. And seeing where your roots come from, do you ever do like redesigns of certain characters or anything like that?
Not really.
We got bits.
Oh,
Yay,
nice.
baby bits! Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Baby bits.
I mean, I kind of just I keep some of the core elements, and then I kind of just add my own style to it. So I don't know if you guys
Oh, here
can
we
see
can put this
this.
guy first. This will be the art camera.
So
You guys can
A
see him in
little
the
higher.
corner.
There you go.
Well, we got
There's
this little
my
guy here
Joker.
too.
Okay.
So this is a Joker, and you said you're
Very
gonna
I'm gonna
canvas
project.
this one, right?
Yes, I'm gonna scan it and project it so that I can put it on canvas because I really like the way he looks in this one. I mean, I've done a couple Joker ones, but this is my favorite so far.
I like how this one looks like almost like like a playing card Joker. Like
Right, and
like
that's kind of the idea that I
I didn't even
wanted.
notice this part for the record. I just seen like this, and it just looks like a playing card Joker, which is random.
Right, and then I kind of like that his hair is like fire. I'm all about fire. I'm a fire sign, so
What is your sign?
I'm an Aries.
That's why we're friends. So, true story, I'm a Gemini.
Okay.
And the number one best friend, all my best friends are Aries.
Oh,
Every
that's
single one of
funny.
them. And they're all fire signs. So, instant friends. Look at that.
And then I just finished this one, my dragon.
Is this the dragon? So, these are basically your original characters, right?
Yeah,
These are
this
all out
is
of
an
your...
original piece. This was just something I started in San Diego. I was doodling. I was bored.
And
So
it's marker, right? Because it
it
almost
is.
looks like
It's
paint.
no, it's marker. I started with pencil, and then I did black line, and then I just colored it in like a big coloring page. So.
And when we were actually, she brought me upstairs for a minute because we were going to stream upstairs, but it was raining out.
Yes.
I was walking down the hallway and I was like, oh, this is new. And there's this awesome Aquaman painting in your hallway. And it was like the first thing that caught my eye because me and her are very like original, organic art.
Yes.
And it's amazing how warm, like she was saying, like that's what it is. It's the warmth and the like energy that comes off of something like that versus
Right.
a poster or a print.
Or even just digital in general, I think is very sterile. Like, there's no deviation to it. Like, you're just blanket. I mean, yes, you can do blending and stuff like that, but it's not like when you're blending with charcoal or with paints or
Exactly.
You know, it's even marker is kind of hard to get that blending, but you know, it's I don't know. I find it to be a very sterile medium, but that's just me.
Schnitzel says he just seen your dragon picture on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
See, this is when we were talking about that too. How she's got to stop. Like she said, she was going to stop bumping because it doesn't show her pictures all the time.
I'm gonna
all the bumps.
Yes,
I told her about that.
Yes.
I basically have moved off of Facebook at this point. I'm really mostly on Twitter now. I don't
Okay.
even do because I'm more interactive with them.
Yeah. Now you had asked earlier if she ever does her own version of characters.
Yes.
Right.
And that's
kind of what I'm working on right now.
This guy
is my big piece. I don't know how far that will reach.
Well, that's why I brought this guy. Look at that. So we have this extra camera, so we can bring it over.
I don't know if you guys are gonna recognize this because it's definitely a generational thing.
Let's see if anyone can guess and stream what this guy is.
So this is kind of like my own take on the character.
See, anybody
bring it down a little bit.
down? How are we in little?
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Can anyone guess what the characters are that are being portrayed in the picture? I don't know if anyone's in chat. We've left. We have to leave Aquaman to do all the hard work now.
I know.
And nobody's commenting about it yet.
Okay, well.
It's on like a 8-second delay, so.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, as you can see, it's the only part of it that's really cartoony is here behind the tree, and that's supposed to give people a clue of what it's representing.
Okay. Yep.
It's realism.
The call out?
Yeah. And they got it right.
Oh, what did they say? Who is it?
It said Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yes, it's Moose and Squirrel.
What's their screen name?
It is joke player.
Oh, Joker. Joker's all up. See, Joker's your number one fan right here on the stream.
So, it's almost done. I have to finish my squirrel, and then I've got some more detail work that I need to put in for the mountains, and I'm going to put some shadow work in, and then it will be done.
And like, here, I'll zoom in a little bit. My favorite part is like the tree. You can see like all the little details in her tree, and because she's using a different base, you can see the swishes in the mountains, which isn't actually a watercolor, it's actually acrylic.
Yeah.
So this is
And I'll
what
do what I did over here. I'll give the mountains some kind of definition over here so it looks not like a big blur. Kind of looks like a mountain range.
and this is why the organic stuff is so cool because you can't really continue that unless you're doing it on paper. Like you could just click a button and it does it for you on a computer. And it's so cool because I knew you did like sketches and stuff, but when I came, first thing I see was that Aquaman painting. I was like, she paints? What? Because that's my like big thing.
Yeah.
Is I do a lot of painting.
Oh, she's
Here,
got
you get your mic, you get your special
she has
camera
a
back.
whole room full of canvases.
That's the Aquaman camera.
Yeah, I have quite a few pieces. A lot of my commission work is paint. So.
And she does do commissions as well.
I do. I do commissions.
If you go follow her and you go talk to her on her social media, you can ask her about doing commissions or anything like that. If you ever wanted like an authentic DC Batman piece, basically. I don't even want to call you like Batman. I want to call you like DC now because you have way more roots than just Batman. I feel like Batman is like just giving you one title now. I feel like you're so much more.
Well, I mean, that's the big one. I mean, the version of Green Lantern that Bill co-created isn't used. I mean, he's making little cameos here and there. And then Wildcat, I mean, he's had a couple cameos on some of the animated stuff, but like everyone's like, Wildcat, what's that? So, I mean, Batman is also the most popular comic in the world.
Yeah, no, it is.
So that's
it's so popular that it like overdoes anything else in DC.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I hate to say, but also in Marvel. I mean, not everybody can recognize Marvel characters.
No, it's very true.
I mean, you could take the Batman logo to Ethiopia, and some
know
kid in a village somewhere hold it up, and the kid would know Batman.
So, I mean, the symbol is just
like
so
Coca-Cola,
recognized.
Batman.
Yeah, even more so than Disney. I mean, more people are going to recognize the Batman symbol than Mickey Mouse.
Which that's why they can shine in the light and can come save the world.
Until Disney takes over.
No. Why is Disney going to take that over?
No, it just got bought out by AT&T. It's not going to be taken over by Disney.
Well, Disney will buy AT&T.
Wildcat seems more on the obscure side.
Yes.
So yeah, you did. When did you just got back from San Diego?
Yes, we did last week.
Did you do anything fun there? And that was something I wanted to bring up because I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con, and like I've been like from basically Florida all the way to Canada a few times.
Okay.
I've never gone over there.
She goes all the time. Well, she's been the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. It was my first experience, and as a 14-year.
He doesn't get out much. I warned you before that I was gonna.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, after 14 years of going to every kind of convention on the East Coast, big, small, and indifferent, I have to say San Diego Comic-Con is a complete and different animal than anything any convention goer could be exposed to. It is a complete industry con. So you would go to MegaCon, DragonCon, even New York Comic Con, and the percentage of people in cosplay might be anywhere from 40 to 85%, with 85 being like DragonCon, where almost everybody seems to have costumes. There, it's only about 20% of the population is in costumes, which is very weird.
That seems to be like a thing I keep hearing with the California-based cons, honestly. Like even BlizzCon, you go there and there's amazing cosplays, but not everyone's in cosplay like it is here. Even from the north, it's like not nearly as like cosplay oriented as like the southeast, I guess. From like Texas, I want to say to like North Carolina, Pennsylvania, probably, because like where I'm from in New York, I just started cosplaying like 5 years ago. And we had no cons. Like New York City Comic Con was it. And it was like a goal of me and my friends, but even then we were like, oh, we'll go as one like Halloween costume. We didn't even know where that was even a thing. And I have a couple of friends over in the Cali area, and like they tell me all the time, like they either go for the costume contest, and then there's only like maybe 100 people there that are there for that. Where it's like,
well, they did. They had a masquerade contest. What was that on Friday?
Friday, yeah, it was Friday night.
No.
Well, I don't
I
think
think it was on Saturday.
well, that was the big Hall H Marvel night, so I don't think it would have had it the
No,
same
it
night.
wasn't at the night of the Eisners. I think it was on Saturday night after we left the 30th anniversary panel. Remember we saw
Okay.
all those people
Oh,
lining
that's
up.
right. You're right. It was that.
I mean, they do encourage it, but really San Diego is about Hall H, which is where they go and do all the big,
Uh, like Tom Cruise
yeah,
comes up and he
they
talks
talk
about
about
the
the
new.
movies and the TV shows, and people actually camp outside in line overnight for the whole four
It's
days to
definitely
get into
on
this
my
hall.
bucket list dream cons for
Yeah.
those reasons.
But I mean, the showroom floor is mainly, they have specials for specific
Exclusive. It's
yeah.
all exclusive.
And then they'll unveil like new sculptures, new toys, new books. It's a lot of like established artists. You're not going to see like Artist Alley is very small and it's like real artists. It's not like Joe
high end.
Schmo.
Like when you go to like
Yeah.
some cons, it's
And
like,
they're
Well,
selling things
why are
for
these people here?
$5,
Well,
right?
yeah, you go to
Yeah.
MegaCon and you've got like 90 rows of artists, and you like this person, but you never find them again because you can't find them again.
Yeah.
Here, it's literally like 4 rows, and every one of those artists has earned their dues.
Right. Well, the other thing is that to get a table at San Diego for an artist is $1,200.
Which is crazy compared to like a normal artist booth.
Yeah.
Right. I
So
mean,
they
normal
really have to
is
be
like
selling
200, 250 in that range at cons locally or even, up and down the coast. So you have to be pretty serious to want to be at that event.
Yeah, because 1,200 is usually a price for almost like a vendor. So to even get like me as a tattoo artist, for me to go as a tattoo vendor, they usually start at like $900, $1,200 to tattoo. And that's not fair because they're like, hey, we know this person's going to make more money, so
Well, I think it might also be liability issues with the tattooing.
Well, I know Florida, I'm doing one in Tennessee in like 2 weeks. So it's going to be my first con that I've tattooed at in like 5 years. But usually the health board comes in and they basically, it's not really the con, then they basically check you out. They give you the okay, and like I have to go get a temporary license. It's like $175 to work that weekend there, and then it's still like on me if something does go wrong. That way the con is completely
okay.
And
I don't know.
They also like check it out to see like they're basically the health department comes in and says no, this isn't a good area for you to do that. Then they basically close the doors and I can't tattoo there. And it sucks when you're doing like a traveling con because I could get turned away from tattooing when I walk in 2 weeks. So
yikes,
depending on what happens.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I can have a whole bunch of artwork to sell too. So I've been like trying to paint and do stuff to sell.
Well, another big thing that you'll find at San Diego that you won't find at most other cons is the industry is set up inside the con. Meaning you'll see a booth that's, I don't know, maybe 50 by 50 or 100 by 100-foot area, and it's Warner Brothers. Right. And they've got a 2-story with like lounges on the second where they're doing interviews and
that's cool.
And
they'll have signing booths around
like
it.
Nickelodeon will have like huge area. Lucas will have this huge stage area where they have all the costumes from the movies coming out. I mean,
so people really are going to see the stuff. They're not going there to see the people dressed in costumes. Although that is part of it, but like you said, it's a small part of it. It's really to see what's happening in their fandom and what's new coming out for that particular year or that month or whatever it is.
And there are lines everywhere. Everywhere you go, you'll see somebody
going. It's like people want to go to the panels there.
Yeah.
People here, it's like panels. Like I love panels, like the art panels, like the drinking and drink and draws. Have you done those?
Yeah.
Well,
oh my God, it's so much fun.
Well, actually, I was in something like that. It was called Quick Draw. I was actually secretly invited to be. Well, because
the artist didn't know that he was going to be the model.
Yeah, so I was the model for 3 famous artists.
I think I remember you posting something about
this. Yeah. Unfortunately, the guy who was my handler, instead of he had the video camera set. He'd hit the button by accident, and then when I got up there for my part, he'd hit the button again, turn the camera off, and missed the whole video. So
Well,
I'm still waiting for
we
video.
have a picture of you in the audience hanging
Yeah.
out, right? He
Yeah.
posted one of
Well,
those.
Yeah.
I think my friend, I need to actually get in touch with him again to remind him to send us
Yeah, the
some
friend
of the
that
contacts.
he invites me and he said, okay, I need you to show up as classic Aquaman, old school classic, because
Mhm.
these are artists who've been in the industry for over 50 years each. So
Yeah.
one of them was Scott Shaw, who was one of the original artists for the Flintstones. Another one was Sergio, who is a famous artist for Mad Magazine. And the other one was
I used to read Mad Magazine all the time as a kid.
They
something.
actually just canceled the.
Well, they're bringing it
series.
back. He
My
said.
heart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Floyd.
All these like
and
hand touching
He
things
was an
are getting
original
canceled.
Disney
he was the
artist.
first person of color hired by Disney, and one of his first projects was Sleeping Beauty. That's how old school he is.
My grandmother actually worked on Little Mermaid, which is funny.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And actually, I get most of my art talent from my grandmother to this day, which is why I was like, you would love it, because my grandmother draws dragons. That's her
Oh,
big thing
nice.
all the time. She's always, every time I go over there, it's like, Maria, look at this dragon I drew. And I'm like, all the dragons, Grandma. And especially like as she's gotten older, it's
Right.
like all she draws now is
Well,
dragons.
this dragon here is an original.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was born in the year of the dragon, so I've got lots of fire.
How
on
old?
76.
I think you are literally the year of my mom, which is funny. Yes, because she is the year of the dragon, because I'm the year of the tiger.
Okay.
And it's funny because like you remind me of a lot of my family members because we're like crazy and silly, and then like you said you're an Aries
Yes.
and then blonde.
And I grew up in Boston.
Art, and I'm New York,
Yeah.
so there we go. We got all
Yes.
these. But actually, it's funny. My grandmother was on Little Mermaid, and she got fired because back in those days, if you were over a certain weight or a certain look or certain things back in those days, they could can you. So because she was too heavy at the time,
That's
they let her.
sad.
And she wasn't even like she was maybe 200 at that time. But I think
Which is like normal these days.
right? Like they just released on Universal Studios water ride. If you're over 150 pounds, you can't ride it. Like the big volcano ride.
Oh, wow.
Which who in their right mind is like adult? There's really no adults that are like 150. Very very few.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
So what is your guys' next con that you'll be attending or?
Dragon Con.
You said you weren't going to any more Dragon Cons.
Well,
I'm a guest, so he's coming with me.
I'm gonna hang
Me
out.
and you will just hang out.
Okay.
He told me every year for the last like 3 years, I'm never doing Dragon Con again. I'm never doing Dragon Con. And then he had like a meltdown with it last year because like he's like, I need this drawn on me. I need this drawn on me. When you were doing the he did the pinup Aquaman, and
Yeah.
I'm very hard to get a hold of, but I'm there. I just don't answer until I need
The
to.
bombshell. I did the bombshell Aquaman.
Exactly. Now she could draw on you. See there?
Mm-hmm.
We gotta get her Catwoman in like 3 weeks.
No, I'm not
She's
doing
like, I'm
it
not
for
doing
Dragon
it.
Con.
Not that close.
No.
No. But yeah, we're
No.
doing Dragon. Actually, we have 4 conventions back to back.
Sound like me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm
So-
starting a new job, so we'll
so
see how that goes.
Dragon Con, and
and
then
then
And then
very next weekend we
There's
have
Space Coast,
over in Cocoa,
and then
Kaiser Con.
Kaiser Con here in Orlando, which is a brand new one.
Yeah, Kaiser University.
if Schnitzel's still listening, Schnitzel, Space Coast, that's near you because he's been trying to get me to go to Daytona Comic Con, so you could go see her at
Space Coast.
Space
Yeah.
Coast.
And then after Kaiser, we'll be at
Ancient
Ancient
City.
City in St. Augustine.
Oh, okay. There's one in St.
So-
Augustine too. I don't go to a lot
Yeah,
of
and that's it's an older one too. It's been around for a while.
So
I
and
feel
there's
like
actually a really good guest list for that one. So
if I go back to doing cons in Florida, like it's gonna be like the little ones, and I'm gonna just wear my giant rabbit suit so no one knows who I am and just run around and be crazy.
there's nothing wrong with
Well, you know
Right?
what? We're wrong.
I need mask
We're
ones.
we're not guests. We're just going for a day. We're actually
that. We're going to Tampa Bay on Saturday to
Oh, yeah.
be spectators.
I seen you post something about that.
Yeah. I
It was
gave everybody a chance to vote on which suit. I've got 5 different Aquamans up for vote.
I think I voted for the all armored one because duh. And then there's
Aquaman.
one that's like just medium in there, and I forget which one it is without looking at it. It's not like the stretchy. It's got a
It's
little
probably
bit
the
of armor.
first one, the one that you just.
Oh,
picked.
it's the new Gladiator.
So yeah, it's
version.
probably that one because it was one I haven't seen yet.
That's brand new, which he unveiled in San Diego.
Nice.
The Gladiator.
So you're gonna go there and hang out and walk around,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, we're guests of one of the artists, so.
that's awesome.
Yeah. It's nice to have friends in the scene.
Yeah, I'm doing Bubba Fest, which is gonna be fun. That's
Okay.
in Kentucky. It's a hall. I'm happy because I'm tattooing there.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get back in my tattoo roots, and then we're doing Dragon Con. We actually were going to do a whole Aquaman group. We had a whole entire Aquaman group planned, which would have been awesome for Sunday, but Amy and Havoc, because of the wedding and everything, canceled Dragon Con. So now I'm still debating if I'm going to bring my mirror or not. Maybe we can put her in there.
No.
She's like, no, I'm trying. I'm trying, guys.
The track record with that? No, I want
That's
nothing
true. That's
to
a
do
good
with
point.
that. Okay.
Well, for the record, my Mira was never supposed to be Mira, and you could ask Rick this. I bought the Mira suit because it was like $30.
Okay.
But my Mira is actually so I can basically cut it up and repurpose it into Artemis, right? That's her name. What's her name? The female Aquaman girl with blonde hair.
Oh,
I thought it was Artemis. Is that?
no, it's not right.
Because that's who I wanted to create it as. Because
Okay.
I was never going to be a Mira ever.
No, I'm
'Cause
not
I feel
touching
you-
that with a
I
10-foot pole.
I
Sorry.
feel you. 'Cause we don't need redheads in our life. We're blonde ladies. But Artemis is like I've seen her in a couple
You
like
keep saying
pictures.
Artemis.
It's not
for some reason-
Artemis.
No, that's Wonder Woman.
But she's got blonde hair and she's kind of an armor,
Okay.
kind of, but she's more of an
That-
assertive like fighter.
Oh, I think
Okay.
that's the Earth 2, because she carries a sword, not a trident. That's the Earth 2 Aquaman.
Yeah, she definitely has something that she fights with. I don't know if it was a
Yeah,
trident.
that's Earth 2.
Yeah. No.
It's an alternate universe Aquaman where she's, instead of being male, she's female.
So it's Aquaman. I always wanted to do an Aquaman cosplay, but
Okay.
it'd be like a lady Aquaman. So the only reason why I bought the mirror costume is so I could like
you
chop
could
it
do
up.
that. Okay.
I found a picture of Momoa where he has like a snail thing here and like crossbar, like, and I'm like, oh, I'll do a snail armor set and like make it. It would be cooler if it's a lady Aquaman than because I thought it was like his daughter or something weird. I never got like a quick. Oh, kitties!
Kitty cat.
She's like, I'm climbing on
Freaking
stuff.
out.
So I thought that was her name. I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to look up. I'm gonna send you the picture because I have them all saved at home.
Okay.
I'm almost gonna say she probably has a sword. If she has a sword, that's Earth 2, and it's still Aquaman. I just don't remember her name.
Yeah, because I was gonna do that, and then Havoc was gonna do. I think he was gonna do Manta or something like with a big head, and then Amy was gonna do Mira's sister with the black hair or purple hair.
Siren.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, I'm not gonna just do Mira. I'm gonna be, I guess, Lady Aquaman. I was wrong about the character.
Well, come Halloween, if you want to do the Black Lantern and Red Lantern, I'll do my Black Lantern
That's right.
Aquaman, and you do your Red Lantern Mira.
My friends were all doing a lantern group,
Okay.
and I was like, when I seen Red Lantern Mira like spitting blood, I was like, that's who I'm gonna be. So that's like that was my first Mira. That was the only Mira I was like, I'm going to do Mira for. But does anyone in chat have any more questions? I don't know. These guys probably go to bed. You get tired? I feel like I'm keeping you guys forever.
I don't know.
These streams usually go long, and you guys aren't asking questions. We got 13 people just listening to us right now.
Randomly.
It's like, well, it's been going up and down between 13 and like 17.
Okay.
And then they're just listening to us. They do this when I art stream.
Okay. Well,
I don't know.
we're fascinating then.
I don't know if you do any of this technology, because I just started this.
I do a lot of podcasting, so they like pre-record that and then they clean it up and then they post it.
See, this is where I don't have time for that, so I just do live. And Rick's known me long enough that I'm pretty witty, so I can like.
There you go.
But like if I had to pre-record this, edit it, and then post it, it would never go up, ever. Just like all the pictures I always take, I never share them because I'm just like, here's 3, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
And even as cosplay, like, I don't know, like I was just talking to Amy and Havoc about this, like, I used to be like, oh, give me 1,000,000 pictures of me in this one pose. And now I'm like, I got 3, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need no more. Take no more pictures of me. I don't know how if you're still like, no, man, he's always the center of attention, man.
Yeah, I can't walk the hall with him.
He's very annoying. We can
It's
talk
not
about,
annoying. It's just funny that he's more famous than I am.
We're going to turn this on him. This is the roasting of Aquaman with Harley Quinn, and we're going to call her Batgirl tonight. We're going to roast Aquaman. This is what we all came here for. It's so funny, like, when you go in public with him, though, and he's like, his Aquaman shirt, he's like, I'm Aquaman, whips out a business card.
Yeah.
Like, he's giving me the look, he's like,
Yep, I do.
Maria.
He does. And there are
I've
times
been.
where he's like, oh, and this is the granddaughter, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, that's cool. But you're Aquaman. And I kind of just walk away and go hide somewhere. And I'm just like, whatever.
It's like
Everybody's been doing that to him for a long time. We're embarrassing him.
Oh, you have 0 questions? That's okay. We'll
Zero
forgive you.
questions.
That's okay.
Where's Joker? He was all Joker and Siren. They were here and they were like, question. They were like,
And-
this.
and
And now
They got lives,
they're scared.
apparently.
They're like, I don't want to ask. But yeah, it's funny, like, me, like, I'll go in and be Deadpool or Captain Marvel or something with him, and he'll be like, bah, 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 and he'll, like, go to talk me over or something. I'll be like, bye. And, like, I'm like, I just, because I like the attention, but I don't like the focus. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I can talk in the front of the stage, I can, like, host events, I can be totally there, but it's always a weird feeling to be put over. It's like, no, I'm not that cool, go away. Like, I'm really not this special, I'm not this cool. And that's one thing I give Rick, like, he's always like that with his friends, it doesn't matter who it is. He's always like, this person's so awesome.
Yes.
And I'm like,
well, he likes to promote the people he cares about.
He does. That's definitely a Aquaman trait.
So
even like when I first met him, well, not first met him, when you guys first started hanging out, he's like, oh, you gotta help and flip this over, and I'm like, okay, just let me just give me information, feed it to me. And then he does the same thing as me too, and then he flakes out later on. It's always like on the table, it's right there, but later on it's like,
you're busy, other things come up.
Yep.
I'm happy because she's here, but I was also an Aquaman fan before it was cool to like Aquaman.
There you go.
Wasn't that anyone who watched the movie before Momoa? Right?
Pretty much.
Because he was the butt end of
Yeah.
every joke.
Well, I had so many people come up to me for years say, I've always loved Aquaman. He's always been my favorite. Always been my favorite. I was like, then why does he get such a bad rap? There's so many people come up to me secretly. It's like, is there like a closet Aquaman fan group that I don't know about?
That's
Really?
exactly what it is. It's like the Aquaman. It's like Thor. Before Thor was big, sexy man Thor.
Yeah.
People are like, that dude's uncomfortably, like, not comfortable, like, riding rainbows and unicorns, like, as a dude, not in the, 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
that's not okay. And now everybody's like, oh, I love Thor, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I love Thor because I was into My Little Ponies and Magical Unicorns and Beach Boys.
All right, there's a question. Do I have any friends that work or have worked for one of the big comic companies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're newer friends. It's not like I had friends from like back in the day that were part of it. I've met a lot of people actually, and I've become friends with quite a few people in the industry, which is really nice.
Michael.
Well, Michael Uslan, who's the executive producer of the Batman movies and all of that stuff, he and I met at the premiere for The Dark Knight.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
he came, running up to me like a cute little boy. And this is a grown man. I got to tell you my Bill Finger story because he actually got to meet my grandfather when he was a teenager. And so he, was telling me the story about how he met my grandfather. And he's like, Michael Uslan is a unique person. He is the only person in the world who has his doctorate in comic books.
Oh.
And he taught the very first comic book college class back in the 70s. So like he has this really unique story. And so I mean I've been friends with him since then, and we got to hang out with him a lot this past San Diego Con,
Well, you had
which was
asked
nice.
about is there any cool things that we did while we were there, and that was one of the things. Because of him, we went to a very exclusive VIP party on the roof of the Chinese Theater in San
Which
Diego.
Michael's son throws parties. Apparently, he hasn't done it in the last couple of years, but he's known for throwing these parties on Thursday nights of the event
Oh,
in
that's
San
awesome.
Diego. So
Was it Thursday or Wednesday?
it was a Thursday.
Thursday, that's
Wednesday
right.
night was the gathering.
That's right. It was Thursday night.
So it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a lot of food, not a lot of food, a lot of alcohol, and a lot of people.
And
we don't drink.
Those must be the funnest stories, though, when you're in the industry and like people come up and talk about your grandfather and like their interactions with
because I
him.
never met him, so I'm learning from other people who have met him or know about him or worked with him. I've met quite a few people in the last 5 years. So Um, there's a few others like Buzz, who's an artist who has done stuff for Batman.
Joel Adams.
Joel Adams, who's Neil Adams' son, who he worked on
Um, King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, yes, and a few others, but King of the Hill is the one that he's really known for. Um, Tom King, who is the current writer for Batman, he just won a bunch of Eisner Awards. Who I keep running into at a bunch of different events, and
What they win 4?
yes,
Four
four
Eisners this
Eisners.
year.
So, you know,
And Eisners are like the Academy Awards for comic books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That name sounds familiar.
well, Will Eisner is a big name in the comic industry. So, I believe he was the creator of the Spirit. I believe something like that. Anyways,
And then,
the Spirit was actually one of the influences for Batman and Zorro and a few others that came
Oh, okay.
before.
and the Spirit
comic.
knows. And
Yeah.
that's the tagline.
The Spirit was basically a detective who
Oh,
wore a
okay.
little mask and a hat.
Yeah.
Like one of those
It was very
fedora hats.
noir type.
Yeah. So,
Like the Sherlock Holmes era, right? Like everything came off of like that detective.
no, this
and-
is like
Well,
gangster era,
oh,
like
gangster.
In
the late
1930s.
20s, early 30s, that era.
Oh, okay.
So, a lot of influences as far as like and yes, Sherlock Holmes being a detective was also one of the influences why Batman is a detective. He really wanted him to be a human. He didn't want him to be an alien or mutated or any of these other kind of weird things that were going on. He just wanted him to be a man who was a great detective, and that's kind of where he went and found all these influences for that particular
I think
character.
that's why Batman became such a household like hero, is because it's almost like anybody could be Batman in a way. Everyone's saying that the reason why Aquaman is not loved is because of Robot Chicken making jokes about Aquaman.
Well, I mean,
The whole
Robot,
time.
Robot Chicken,
it
Family
started
Guy.
before that, though. Even with Super Friends, he kind of was the
He-
campy one.
Yeah, he
and
was the
wasn't-
one who didn't do much.
Yeah, he
You know,
wasn't very respected. I mean, Super Friends was out in the 60s and the 70s. So, I mean, it started even before Robot Chicken was even a concept.
That's probably where the start of the jokes came from, because he was
Yeah.
kind of the outcast.
Right.
So Chowder is asking if you have children and if they enjoy comic books and are interested in arts.
Well, my son, he is not into comics, although he knows his family history. He is a musician, actually, so he's got the musical side from his father. His father was an established musician in Chicago for a long time, so he is actually really good. He wasn't formally trained, but he can pick up any instrument and kind of figure out how to play it and make it sound good.
What's his, does he do guitar? Does he do...
He literally plays everything.
Everything. That's awesome.
He started on the drums, then went to guitar, and now he plays the bass, the ukulele, the mandolin. He played the saxophone for a while. He plays keyboard.
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, he plays everything.
I can play a trombone. That's it. It's the most random thing. But give me a drinking horn, I could probably blow the drinking horn, because I have that way of doing things.
And his
and he sings. Also.
Yeah, and his main musical influence is the Beatles. He loves Beatles music.
His dad is a huge Beatles fanatic. So, I mean, from the moment that he was born, he's been listening to the Beatles. And actually, when he was just about to turn 3 or just turned 3, I have this video of him. He's got Yellow Submarine on VHS playing in the background, and he's got his little tiny, like, piece of crap 3-piece kid
oh my gosh.
kit, and he's playing along on beat.
That's
and
amazing.
Singing to Yellow Submarine. It's the cutest thing. But I mean, that was his roots. Because his dad's old school. His dad's, was born in 51. So his dad grew up with all of the classic rock and the real, like, Billie Holiday and can't think of, Roy Orbison was a big one that he would play all the time. Like all of that genre, like the real classic rock. When rock was just starting to form is what he influenced Benjamin with, and then the Beatles obviously was a huge part of that, and So it just kind of progressed from there. Now he's
Well, this
writing
is like
his
grew
own.
up on that like good train of music.
Yeah.
I've got a 17-year-old now that just plays video games, and then I've got a 13-year-old who like just got guitar lessons for this summer. So he likes like Imagine Dragons and like that kind of harmonic stuff, I guess.
Okay.
So he's still kind of on that verge of like, even though he did tell me he
Yeah.
wants to learn how to play like Old Town Road, and I'm like, oh, there goes my kid. Let's see, we have thoughts on Peterson being the Batman.
Okay, so I get asked that all the time. I never saw any of the Twilight movies, so I'm not jaded with the whole glittery thing.
But it goes back to, is he going to be my Beyond boy? Because I could totally do him be a Batman Beyond.
I don't know. I mean, he's got a good look to him. I never try to judge before I see the film. I mean, no one thought that Michael Keaton could be a good Batman, but that's like my favorite Batman. Like a lot of people's favorite Batman. A lot of people thought that Ben Affleck wasn't a very good one. I think he did an
I
amazing
don't think he
job.
did bad. I think he did better than I thought he was going to do horrible, and he did way better than I thought he was going to do.
It's not his fault that the script sucked.
Yeah.
And that the storylines were like all over the place. I think his portrayal of Batman, and not just Batman, but as Bruce Wayne also, was right on the mark.
I think he did amazing Bruce Wayne wise.
Yeah,
100%.
which I mean, that's not easy. It's literally two different people that you're having to portray in the same movie. So I think he did a really good job, and I don't think he gets enough credit for it. I mean, we are talking to somebody who is an Academy winner. I mean, he is a very well-established actor, and he does know what he's doing. So, it's not his fault that they is.
Well, Michael Uslan.
You get pulled in different
Yeah.
Michael Uslan brought it up. He said, "Look, because that question was asked of him during his panel.
Yes.
What do you think of him?" And he said, he said,
"What's up, Mike? He loves cats."
He said, "Give him a chance, and then when it's out there, criticize the hell out of it."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but at least give the director the opportunity, because he said Michael Keaton, people, and this was before social media, were up in arms. You hired a comedian to be Batman, because that's what Michael Keaton was at the time. He was Mr. Mom. He was gung ho. These are old movies.
These are old movies.
Mr. Mom was awesome.
I could see
110, 120, whatever.
Patterson being like a Nightwing or like a Terry McGinnis or something.
Right.
I could see him that all day long.
Mm-hmm.
All day long, I could see him do that. Batman's a little rough for me, but
he's supposed to be portraying a younger Batman. So I mean, we're coming off of, the Justice League and the Batman versus Superman, where it was a much older Batman, older Bruce Wayne, who was already established in what he was doing. This is supposed to be a little younger. He's just figuring it out.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for the Christian Bale, though, because Christian Bale had set a good war.
Yeah, but I wasn't exactly happy with
the origin story.
It's not thrilled with the performance from Christian Bale. I just I don't think that his Batman was all that.
Blah, Bale. Joker's got the best comments in here tonight.
I mean, the movies were out of that series. The Dark Knight was my favorite, but that's because of Heath Ledger and what they did with that character specifically. So I mean, it is what it is, and a lot of people enjoy the Bale series and think that he was the best Batman, but I don't know. I think that he didn't pull it off, either character. I think that he was too arrogant for the Bruce Wayne character, and I just don't really like the way that he portrayed the Batman. I think that whole weird voice thing he was doing was weird.
And it's weird because the weird voice thing is now Batman. Have you noticed that? Like, people kind of it's kind of like the thing to do now is Batman. Like, he made that a thing. And it threw me off originally. I was like, wait, I don't remember any of this. And now it's like the thing they do.
No, I mean, if you have to go with somebody who portrayed the best.
Joker's new favorite person.
That's thank you. I mean, Kevin Conroy, if you want to just go with the voice, strictly just with the voice and not the look, then Kevin Conroy is Batman. I mean, he really pulled that character off.
I think
it's like Mark Hamill being the Joker.
The first Batman, besides like Adam West, because that was like goofy for me.
Yeah, I mean, I love Adam
Um,
West, but that's, that's the light-hearted genre of the character. And, if we're talking film, which has brought him back to his originals, then I would have to say Keaton or Affleck.
I was the weird one who really liked the Tim Burton
Oh, I love
Batman.
Tim Burton.
That was my favorite. Like that was my like childhood. Like
Well, that's Michael Keaton.
yeah,
you
Michael
know.
Yeah.
Keaton one. Like
Mm.
so many characters in that are like my childhood. Like when I was younger, that was one of those movies that I left in the VCR all
Oh,
the time
yeah.
because I've always been in love with Drew Barrymore and she was in there. So it was like
Yep.
I love Drew Barrymore. Jim Carrey was in there. I thought he did amazing. I would love to see him come back as a Riddler again, especially now where he's crazy. Like in Jim Carrey's craziness right now, him come back and do a Riddler,
Yeah.
maybe even a Joker now.
But
Like
that wasn't a Tim Burton movie.
that was the Tim Burton. He did like
No, he only did 1 and
He
2.
did the
Oh,
first
he
two.
didn't do it.
Nope.
So I don't even know. I just
Yeah.
I just associate
They
all
just
of them.
they just played off the looks.
And I mean, Val Kilmer did a pretty good job also. You got to give him a little bit of credit. I mean, he played a more psychologically broken, trying to figure out what's going on in his own mind in that particular Batman movie. And I don't think that he gets enough credit for the portrayal that he did also. I mean, we don't need to talk about George Clooney. We all know that it was bad. Okay.
It's just bad.
But
bad.
I mean, it was just a very different perspective of what they did with when Val Kilmer was playing Batman.
Kevin
And Michael would be great older Batman for Batman Beyond live action. Well, Kevin Conroy doesn't actually do on screen; he's just the voice. So, I mean, I guess if you were going to have him do the voiceovers for the person who actually is going to play Batman, maybe, I don't know, but
perhaps. Look, it's waifus again. See, we got the Aquaman.
still good, true. I mean, he did play the Playboy role very well, but again, it falls into that whole issue of are you going to be able to pull off both personas? Because they really are two very different characters.
Yeah, and that's what
So-
makes the Batman role so hard because you've got to play two different humans, really.
That are the same person.
So, Joker, since you are in Savannah, Georgia, well, you're close to Savannah, right, Joker? Maybe next time I do a Savannah show, we can bring Athena with us to one of the Savannah shows,
Okay.
and she could come down and hang out with us. Because I know we have one coming up in January, but it's like a one day. But I do a lot of the running of the Savannah, Georgia shows.
Okay.
So I know
Savannah's cool.
I was going to actually ask you to come to this one, but the one that was in June, but it was like so much chaos, and it was like
Yeah.
last minute, and I kind of booked more people than I was supposed to.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, well, the next show, if I get people who enjoy Athena on my stream, we can bring her into Savannah, because I know that's close to a couple people on here. The rest of the movie was bad.
Yeah, he's saying that Uma's Ivy was really good. Yeah, I mean, Uma's beautiful, so she pulled it off. I don't know, that whole movie was a hot mess. I mean, whoever thought that, I don't know why they thought Arnold was going to be a good Mr. Freeze.
Loved Arnold as Mr. Freeze.
I mean, that was over the top.
But I really like the stupid stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
I
a
know.
sucker for stupid
But
stuff.
see, like, that whole movie was bringing it back to, like, the 60s TV show.
And maybe
Made
that's
it
why I
kid,
liked
yeah.
it, because I liked that little kid. Plus, I
Well,
was really young when that movie came
No,
out,
is that
too.
the one that had Tommy Lee Jones and Two-Face?
Yeah, I think so.
No, that was with the Riddler that was Batman Forever.
Yeah.
No, the one that we're talking about is the George Clooney one that had Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl. It had
Well, just
Chris
but
O'Donnell
Mr.
as
Freeze wasn't
Robin,
Who else?
Mr. Freeze, and
Poison Ivy?
Poison Ivy were the
I
villains. in
loved
one.
that Poison Ivy growing up. Like, I was in love with her.
Yeah, I'm actually, now, this is kind of off subject to that. Have you seen Stranger Things, the latest season?
I have watched a couple of them, but I haven't watched all of them.
Well, you better get on it, girl.
We could have movie night, and we could all watch Stranger Things. I have no friends in Orlando.
Hey,
Aw.
I have no friends.
That's not true. You have friends right here.
But he makes me
And I even have a big popcorn bucket. So.
Yep.
Big old
So we
rock.
can do a Stranger Thing marathon. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Well, no, it's because Uma Thurman's daughter is in it, and just blows the doors
Uma
off.
Thurman is one of the #1 people I always get asked to cosplay from like Kill Bill.
Oh,
Like, you need to
really?
do a Kill Bill. Someday it'll happen.
But no, Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter. I didn't realize who it was until after the series, and I was like, I gotta find who that was. And it's like, holy crap! Once you knew,
There's a lot of like big name actors in that show.
yeah, but
It's good, though.
once you know whose daughter it is, then you see him.
Oh, okay.
Then it's like, yeah, now I know why she looks so familiar.
Which daughter is it? Is it which characters?
Scoops Ahoy.
Oh, okay, the one with
The
the.
girl that works with him.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ethan Hawke
So
and
Mango is offended that you don't consider him a friend. You better rectify that.
What? That's my
Uh-huh.
boyfriend. So Mango is a cat, and that's my boyfriend, and he hasn't sent me selfies in like days, and I'm very upset.
Oh.
So tell Mango to send me selfies. This is how I interact with my followers and friends. I'm like, I'll get pictures of the cats. I'm like, that's my boyfriend now. That's my boyfriend.
Funny.
So it's funny. I got a new cell phone, and I was like, send me pictures of my boyfriend. And he's like, well, I know who this is. Like,
Oh, that's funny.
so now we have to do a Stranger Thing marathon. Your like extensive Batman knowledge has blown me away. By the
I
way.
learned a lot. I didn't know that much coming into this.
I feel like the lesser known knowledgey person.
Yeah.
That's okay. I had to learn a
Well-
lot, and I fumbled through a lot. So.
And I have been working my butt off to get her to brand herself in the world.
He keeps telling me, "Oh, you should come hang out with me and Athena," and I'm like, "Okay, make a time." And then I hear nothing.
Oh.
Nothing.
No.
So I could help brand Athena and help her with all the
Okay.
branding.
Well,
But I
now-
stopped by your
But
house to visit and hang out with you, and you're like, you're a weirdo. Don't do
He
that.
did that at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, which is I go to bed. I go to people know the 11 people here who watch me. When do I go to bed? I probably had just been on Overwatch all night, and then he knocked on my door like an hour later, like some crazy person.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Dude, it's like
We're early risers
yeah,
in this
yeah.
house.
You
I'm
can
up
come
at-
to my
I'm
house.
up at 4.
That's like satanic words that you should never.
Wait, you're
I'm
up
still
at 4.
awake. That's almost my bedtime.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness. So yeah, I was probably asleep for an hour, and I like opened the door, and I'm like, "Get the fuck away from my house right now! What are you doing here?" Like, bedhead, totally mess. And then he walks in. I'm like, "Sure, Rick, let's just have a chat." And then we talked, and I'm like, then he left, and I went back to sleep. I used to be an early riser, but since like I've been doing more not tattoos, but now I've been doing streaming a lot.
Right.
Now it's weird too, because if I wake up and the sun's up, I'm up. So I'm screwed. So if
Yeah.
you wake me up, I'm done. So same, I go to bed at like 6 a.m. He does. He stays up for. Actually,
Hours
Joker
and hours and
Joker
hours.
skipped his. That's the guy who I was telling you was skipping his like church Bible study to see you
Oh.
tonight.
Well,
Oh.
thank you for coming.
He was like, well, I want to do this last week. I was like, no, skip next week because Athena's going to be on. So Rick is almost as flaky as me, and he's always like, oh, we're going to hang out, we're going to do stuff. But my problem is I'll be like, yeah, sure, let's make a time. And I have to like pencil it in because I get crazy busy.
Right.
And then I just never hear a time.
Because we get crazy busy and we don't
Yeah.
stop.
No, I understand. That's the reason why I'm like, look, I need your date and my date so we can come
Well,
to our date.
I was just telling
We
her.
live 11 minutes away from each other.
I was
Yeah.
telling her a little while ago. It's like all I seem to remember is I'm making coffee again. I'm making coffee again. It's like my life is just standing in front of the coffee maker making coffee.
At 11 o'clock at night.
Like, didn't I just make coffee?
But I go to bed at like 7 and I sleep until like 2. That's so good.
Yeah, I
Well-
can't do that because I gotta work.
Well, see, the
And
both
do
of us,
stuff.
we
But,
we
like-
pack so much into a day. We don't just chill. We just like
And
go,
see,
go, go.
when I work, the tattoo shop, it's like 3 to 12, 3 to
Right.
1. So it's like, it sounds like I'm being a slacker, but really my work schedule is always like night shift. Even when I was doing bar backing and stuff,
Right.
it's like night shift jobs.
Yeah, no, I've always
So-
had day jobs. I mean, when I was teaching at the college, I taught at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I had to be up at 6 every day.
I've
So-
done the crazy morning. I used to do like a manager job at a gas station, and I was like the opener, and No.
Yeah.
And I was so mean to people.
You're not
I
a morning
was
person.
so mean. Do not knock on my door unless you bring me coffee ever again. Like Rose will come over to my house at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be like, she knows better. She literally will bring me like she'll go to Dunkin' Donuts too because I was like, don't bring me dirty freaking Starbucks coffee.
Ooh.
Don't bring me Starbucks.
Don't go
You
Wawa.
bring me Dunkin' Donuts because it's my northerner juice.
Yes.
It's my northern juice right here.
Yes.
This or Tim Hortons, which you're not getting. So you either bring me this or Tim Hortons, or do not come to my house until after 3 o'clock.
It's pretty funny, you know, being from New England, we really are hardcore about our Dunkin' Donuts.
It's so, and you know what else we do? We do blueberry coffee. No one does blueberry coffee.
I don't like the blueberry coffee.
You're not a blueberry coffee?
No.
Sure deal, bag of pure coffee. Yes. Just what is it? It's that oh, what do we do? Oh, we got a new follower.
Woo!
Thank you for following Jenna Tools. I think I said that right. It's so small because my laptop's so small. When I do this on my computer, it's like a bigger screen where I can see the stuff. I like my coffee, or I like my sugar with coffee and cream. Keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming, full steam. Those are the words I know. I don't know any more of the words.
Okay.
But yeah, if you come after 3, I'm usually good. I always bring coffee. But what time do you guys normally go to bed? I feel like I'm keeping you guys up way late.
We're
Probably
getting
another,
close.
probably about half an hour from now.
Rick's always been a go to bed early person.
Well, because he
in my
gets
life.
up so early for boot camp.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do that thing.
Yep. Tomorrow morning I get up, I go do a.
Every time he says boot camp, I feel fat.
That's
I'm
okay.
like,
I'm right there.
right? I need to find like a life where I could just like exercise. And
Well, I
not...
had that for like 2 years, and then I moved.
You moved in with a trainer, and then she doesn't work out as much.
Hey, I have medical
Yeah,
reason
you got
why.
medical- yeah.
High five to medical reasons. See, we can't do it. We're febrile.
No, I'm waiting for. I've been working on my legs, so I'm waiting for that to be finished, and then I can get back to it.
Yes, make me all the coffee in the world. If you see me at a con, just bring me coffee. Are you a coffee drinker?
Oh yeah, black.
Oh yeah.
Straight.
So she's
Straight up.
easy. I am not. I want my sugar. I want my coffee like I like my women blonde as fuck. That's what this is. I do. I like it super blonde. It's weird. But yeah, if you see us at a con, you can bring her a black coffee and just bring me sugar and
With some
milk
coffee.
and then sprinkle some coffee on it. It'll be good.
So
Like, I
you
think
really like sugar, is what you really like.
I do like sugar. I have a problem.
You don't like caffeine per se.
No, I like the caffeine. I just don't like the taste of coffee. I like it to taste like a sweet treat. I
Yeah,
can't.
I'm the same way.
I don't need the hair
Yeah,
on
I
my
know.
chest.
Yeah. No, I use what is it? The almond or it's the Dove
Yeah.
chocolate.
From
It's almond and Dove chocolate.
yeah.
It's a creamer.
You're such a girl.
It's so good.
Oh,
It's so
it is. It's so good.
It's dark chocolate and almonds
Is
for
that
your
like-
coffee.
Like they make the specialty creamers, like they make
Yes.
the caramel and stuff.
Yes.
Well, it comes
Amy
in a
always
big.
has those, and I'm always like, every time I go to her house, I'm like, but I never buy them for myself because I'm like, no, I'm not wasting my money on that because I bought one once and it sat in my refrigerator for like 6 months
Oh
because I
no.
forgot it was there.
That sucks.
But they make like the almond joy flavors. And all
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Mm.
The Dove is really yummy, but I drink mine
Yeah.
black.
She likes her coffee the easy way.
Well, I used to doctor it up. I mean, I was a Dunkin' Donuts consumer for a long time, and I would get coffee like my grandfather, my mom's dad. He would take me to Dunkin' Donuts when they still had like actual coffee mugs, and you could sit, and there was like actual servers.
They used to do that like up until like a couple years ago. Well, not a couple of years ago.
No,
like
it's been a long.
Well,
I think
yeah,
2010 was the last time that happened at the Dunkin' Donuts, like in upstate New York. or
Okay, well
across-
that's different.
Upstate is different, yes, very much so.
Yeah. So he would, and the other thing is that you can't buy light cream anymore. You can buy heavy cream and you can buy half and half. Well, they used to sell light cream, which was between,
Yeah.
heavy and half and half. And so he would take 2 sugars and light cream. So good.
It's like perfect. That's
Yeah.
the perfect blend.
Like
mom
half and
always-
half has too much milk in it.
Well, my mom always actually my mom got me hooked onto the powdered like
Ooh.
creamer. Oh, we got another follower. Yay
Yay!
person that I can't read. Huntman. Thank you, Huntman35. If you guys are just joining us, we have Athena Finger here, who is the granddaughter to the co-creator, look, I'm getting better,
Yes.
of Batman. please feel free to. We're gonna take questions probably for another 10 minutes or so. If you guys have any questions to ask her, please do so. Thank you, Terry Tunes. We got baby bits.
Nice.
Baby bits. That's what I call them when they're like the little one. I don't know the price exchange on Twitter for bits. I have no idea what kind of money I'm making ever. I know that 2,000 bits is $20.
Ooh.
That's all I know.
Okay.
Because I sell my
hopefully
chibis
we'll
for
get
2,000
close to
bits.
that.
But so yeah, I have her name right here with Gothic Sushi and Athena finger. You can find her on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, which I didn't have an Instagram icon. I couldn't. I was like looking and it didn't come with one. So you can find her on all those platforms. Please go give her a follow. She talks to her fans. She wants to hear from you. If you're nervous to ask her something live on stream, please feel free.
Yeah, just kidding.
She's an amazing.
Send me a message. I'll respond.
She's an amazing artist too. You can order commissions from her. Yes. Lots of fun things. Go check out all of her.
I have a website too. Just put my name in.
I think I linked that on the first, not the one we did tonight, but the first one I linked your website because I didn't know you had a Twitter at the time. So I was like, oh, I'll link the website. And I was like, then I did it the next time. I'm like, oh, she has a Twitter. Magic.
Someone's giving you a noogie.
Oh no. Noogie Daddy's Monster shirt, 10 seconds. Oh yeah, that's my only DC shirt that I own with this Harley Quinn. It's actually to my Harley Quinn cosplay. Ooh, Kaiju King give us more baby bits.
Nice.
Yes, literally this goes to my Harley Quinn cosplay.
Okay.
Actually, I wore this like once because I actually got like, this was a cosplay that was sponsored for the people who made the t-shirt, so they paid for the whole thing. So then I had like the pants and the rest of it besides the shirt, and I bought a Deadpool one that said like mommy's like little monster or something stupid with the Deadpool face. So I did a Deadpool with, instead of pigtails, I did a ponytail and had like a Hello Kitty baseball bat because Deadpool is my thing.
Right.
So I used it for that. I haven't really done this cosplay since though. I did it for one show, and then she keeps popping up on my Facebook because I'm friends with you on there. Oh, she said,
just add me as a friend already.
That's right. Just be friends. That's what I told him. I'm like, just do it, bro. Just do it. I have a couple VAs that I like talk to like publicly, but then like I know they're on my stream or like on my feed, and I'm just like, I don't want to say anything to them. So I have a couple of them. Do you ever do anything like a voice acting or anything like that that's into the business? Like, do you do?
No, I haven't done anything, but there is a documentary on Hulu called Batman and Bill. It talks about the gentleman who wrote the book about my grandfather, and it also has the family and talks about Bill's story. And so I don't want to be a creeper.
Joker, he says the best things.
Please, just give me a friend request. It's not a big deal. You're not being a creeper.
You're being a creeper.
Stop. So if you want to learn,
these are the people that I mess with all the time.
So I am featured in the documentary, so that's kind of cool. But I was in a commercial when I was in 3rd grade.
What did you sell?
This is really bad, okay?
I'm so intrigued. That was a good question. Yes, what did you sell?
We didn't sell anything. It was one of those like feel good, like now you would know type of, remember those like that whole.
They did that like in the 90s, 80s, 90s, those like.
So this particular commercial was for handicapped children, but none of the children were handicapped.
They did that back in the 80s and 90s. It was okay to do that. Now
it was the strangest thing, but whatever.
Who's this random Joker? He has like a Joker icon face.
That's fine. I've got lots of Joker
So
friends.
You made people feel good.
Yeah, and I was not one of the handicapped kids. I mean, it was like,
the more you know.
And I was like, how can I be in a commercial for handicapped kids without any handicapped kids?
That must have been frustrating.
It was weird.
Like, did the other kids portray handicapped?
Yes,
oh
but I was actually in the commercial with a very good friend of mine, and she was like in a wheelchair, and I'm like, this is weird.
It's funny saying that like in 2019 because that would be a huge controversial thing.
Of course. Like,
and back then it was like, whatever.
It was weird. So, yeah, those were my 2 big acting things.
And he's working on a book.
You're working on a book?
Yeah, I gotta start working on it. No, I have a couple of ideas. There's some other granddaughters that are part of the DC universe. Chrissy Merson, who's the granddaughter of the creator of Wonder Woman. And
I have like the Woman's Justice League.
Well, yeah, because then there's Nikki Wheeler, who her grandfather actually started the company National, which is now DC Comics.
Oh.
So
Before Superman was even
right. So
like, it was more like cowboy western stuff.
No, even more. He had like I recently went to one of her panels. He actually had like I think 10 different titles, like actual magazines that he was publishing under different names, and each one was a different genre.
Sounds like me. I have like 100 things. And
Well, because there weren't
one
really,
will take off eventually.
There weren't even really like Timely, which is Marvel now, and DC didn't exist. Like comic book companies didn't exist at the time. It was all pulp fiction and those pulp magazines.
It's not like now where everything's comic
right.
books.
So he had started publishing comics, but each one was a different publication and each one was a different story. So one was like spies, because he was from the military. He was a major. So
this is literally how I run like my media marketing. I make like a whole bunch of different publications or different things, and then I add like certain things to each.
Right.
So that's my secret of marketing.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's what he did, and so he's the one that actually started the company that became DC Comics, but he lost it before signing on Superman. But he actually had Siegel and Schuster were working for him before they pitched Superman.
Oh.
He had lost the company, and then whoever took it over signed them to do Superman.
And what time period was that? Because I feel like a lot of like Dark Horse did that.
1937.
Oh no, that was way before that. So I know like what was the 80s? Like a lot of them like switched over. I know Marvel almost lost it. Dark Horse fell.
Right. Well, because comics weren't doing so well then, and Marvel like did something that was self-destructive. Instead of producing new material, they kept reissuing back issues instead of putting out new stuff. Yeah. So all of their comics lost value. So then people stopped reading and buying their comics because they were just putting out the same stuff over and over and over. Doesn't quite work that way.
Which makes sense. So I have one more question.
Okay.
And then if you guys have questions, you better drop them now because we're going to cut it off. This is my last question, so why ask? Do it. Go give her a follow on all the things. She's as easy to find as me.
Just put my name in.
There you go. What got you into doing convention work? Like what inspired you to start doing that, and how did it come about?
Well, it was for the 75th anniversary. Somebody, his name's Travis Langley, he wrote a book called The Psychology of Batman. And he got in touch with me in 2013, right before the 75th anniversary, and he said, listen, I know that you're new to all of this, but, I'd really like for you to come out and start, participating in these events and telling your grandfather's story, because this was before we got him the official credit. We were still in negotiations. So he's like, it would be really good for you to come out and start talking and having your face seen, and start getting associated with Batman and your grandfather. I'm like, okay. So my first official convention that he had me go to was Wizard World in St. Louis in 2014. And he's like, yeah, you can do a couple panels. I'd never done a panel before in my life. And I'm like, okay, what are the topics? And one of them was like, what was going on in the media in 1939, because that's when Batman came out. And I'm like, do I need to do research for this stuff? He's like, just wing it.
Just go.
And I'm like, okay, I do know a couple things about 1939, so I made a few comments. I mean, the panel was big. I think there were like 6 of us up there, so it wasn't like just me and one other person.
Okay, so you had like other people to fall back on.
So that was like my intro to the whole convention
and you just
world.
Loved it so much, you were like, we're doing this.
Well, no, he had specifically pitched certain ones to me. Mm-hmm. And he said Wizard World specifically to start with because it's like a small to medium size.
That's my gold con. I want to do Wizard World Philadelphia next year. That's my travel con.
Okay.
So it's a good con?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to kill it.
Scratch it. So go ahead, finish your sentence.
So then he's like, well, the next one that you need to do is San Diego, because they're doing a big Batman celebration for the 75th anniversary. It's a big deal, blah, 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 blah. So then that one, he's like, but that's completely different. As we explained before, San Diego is massive. and I had never seen anything like that before in my life. So to go from like, you know, a convention hall, which was manageable, to like a whole city that was the convention was just like, oh my God. Um, I was like, okay, can I handle this? This is like not part of, because I'm just a math teacher.
So
That's what I did.
That was like your main
Yeah.
source of income. Okay,
So
awesome.
I was
That's a
like,
big jump from like
yeah,
math
it's
teacher to
like
con
two
world.
completely different worlds with completely. So I mean, and then after that we did New York. New York is similar to San Diego as far as like the amount of people, and like it's really heavily on the industry stuff. It's not so much about cosplay and things like that,
No.
which I didn't even really know about.
That's more like, I swear that's more southeast. Like,
But the difference, though, even with New York and San Diego, is literally the convention hall is one part, but everything around the convention. I mean, every available piece of real estate is developed for a show or a network or something they're pitching, like Fox had a whole
because they have like the premiere stuff comes out there that we don't know about, which is awesome.
right, like not Robot Chicken, Adult Swim had a whole
area.
carnival area set up where they had a
That's
stage.
right, because Amy and Havoc went to New York City Comic Con last year, and she got proposed to there, and that's what she told me was it's like she's like it's different. Don't go there with big cosplays. Don't do it. Like that's what they told me.
It's super crowded.
I'm like, do you know me?
A lot of...
I show up as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't do the big cosplays unless I'm entering.
Yeah, and there's a marina right there, and several of the boats are huge yachts that are. Warner Brothers had one. YouTube had one, and they do.
I feel like that's like the car show thing. Like they go there with the biggest of the best to show off.
Well,
IMDb had a boat. You know, all these big boats, and then like you go across the tracks, and Prime, Amazon Prime had this huge area.
Well, like I said, when you go to San Diego, it's not just in the convention hall. A whole part of the city is part of the convention.
Yeah, the whole gaslight.
It's like a big. It's like you walk in there. It's probably a big promotional. Like everything
is
like selling.
Every building is plastered.
You walk into a commercial. That's what I feel like. How you're describing it. It's like a commercial.
Every building is plastered with some ad on the side of the building. Every one of them, and you know it's like 30 stories tall ads.
Like you blew this man's mind by taking him there.
Oh yeah, so there's some good questions here. My most favorite thing I ever worked on as far as art
in general, they said. So your favorite thing you've ever done?
Oh, well, that's
we could do art. Well, we'll do
I'll
art.
do specifically art. For the Batman stuff, I'm still kind of in the middle of it. After Adam West passed away a couple years ago, I started a painting and kind of like for him. And one half is him as Batman, and the other half is him as Bruce Wayne. I still need to finish the Bruce Wayne side, so it's one of my favorite pieces that I've been working on. It's still a work in progress. And then if I could remake any comic, what would I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't read enough comics. Sorry.
Okay. So I think that's kind of like what we had talked about earlier when we were talking about what movie we would like.
Yeah.
So she liked Catwoman. So there, we already answered that. So back to Catwoman.
And then advice for aspiring artists or artists that have given up on drawing but want to get return. Well, that's exactly who I was. I was a huge active artist when I was younger in my teens, and then I fell out of it, and then I didn't get back into it but a couple years ago. So I mean, if it's something that you want to get back into, just go back to your roots. Enjoy, what made you get into art in the first place, whatever that medium is. Go back to it and try to, remind yourself on why you love doing whatever it is that you're drawing, whatever you were painting, sculpting, whatever the medium is. Get back to what made you enjoy it in the first place, and then you can kind of experiment from there. If you're creating original stuff, just be careful, especially with writing or if you're getting into the actual comic or film or any of those industries, make sure you protect your work, because there's a lot of people who are still stealing other people's work.
I gotta stop telling people my ideas on stream.
Oh, I know.
You're not talking about that.
We talk too much.
Yeah, he does. He has a tendency to do that. And then
I think Joker says it's adding.
Advice for voice actors who aren't very confident in themselves.
Well,
And
you don't do voice acting.
I don't do voice acting, but there are some great people out there that could probably give you some advice. Um, just I would start reaching out to some of those people. Because I mean, it's not an easy field to break into. You think it would be because you're just talking into a
Well,
microphone, but
I've done some stuff with voice acting, but you really need to put the work in. If you're
yeah,
not going to go out there and go take the voice acting classes, and you're not going to be assertive, you're not going to get anywhere in it. And everyone wants to go be an anime character, or they want to be a cartoon.
right,
You aren't getting that like out the door. You're not going to go and be a voice actor and be like, oh, I'm now Sailor Moon, or I'm now Harley.
right,
You're not going to get
It's
that.
like being a face actor for Disney.
You need to go and do radio commercials, and you need to go do the books, the reading books. Those are the ones that actually pay, for one.
Yep.
And for two, you're not going to get those. So get your head off of that world. Like, I know that sounds mean, but those will come with due time.
Experience
Like
also.
a lot of the people who are like in Texas who are like, oh, I just fell in my lap. It's because that's where it's like genre. Or you move to Texas and you push it there. But other than that, it's not something that you can just, it's not going to fall in your lap with voice acting. You got to grind it through.
Yeah. And I mean, if you want to get more confident with it, I would recommend, just recording yourself, get a book or a play, a script of some sort, and start practice talking to a microphone and giving your voice some, character. Because when you're live action, your face and your mannerisms give a lot to the character, but when you're a voice actor, that's all you got is your voice. So you have to have all of that personality come out in your voice. So that might be a good way to practice and build up some of your confidence.
Yeah, definitely. I know, like, even just stand in front of a mirror and talk.
Yeah, but feeling comfortable with the microphone and like it's different when you're just talking to yourself in the mirror versus speaking into a microphone and speaking too close. Right. So, feeling confident with the way you sound and manipulating your voice and things like that. So I'm not in the industry, but that would be my advice.
She's the knower of the people. Yeah, so thank you guys for tonight's Waifu Wednesday. You guys, we've been here for 2 hours. I love you. All the love. You can check. Wait, am I doing this right? It's this way. Wait, I'm too far. Nope. I don't know. I give up. Anyway, our names are here on the bottom. Go follow Athena. You can follow her on Instagram, on Facebook. I don't think she has YouTube.
Right? I don't have YouTube. Sorry.
Twitter. She's gonna stop bumping. She promised me. She said no more bumping.
No.
We're gonna post pictures.
Yes, specifically.
So yeah, you can follow her on all the things. I shared her all the things. You guys can straight up go to my things and take the link to her things. Okay. Go do the things.
Yeah.
All the things.
They're there.
All the things.
Bye.
Thank you guys for hanging out. Have a wonderful night. I just made noises. I don't have ending music for the stream.
That's okay.
So they just hear me talking. I love you guys. Bring me coffee. Oh, I got more bits. Bits to end the stream. Yay, ending bits. Thank you guys. Hopefully maybe we'll have Athena on again sometime. Bye.